Gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the former energy chairman of the Mitt Romney for President campaign and CEO of Continental Resources, Mr. Harold Hamm.
How about Governor Perry? Isn't he something? He knows energy, and he's a tough act to follow. That's for sure. Welcome to Oklahoma, home of energy, first state west of Mississippi to develop energy in America, and we're very proud of it. And guess what? I may talk a little bit about energy today. I knew you probably wouldn't expect that, but that was a great summation Larry Nichols gave up here, he and Todd, talking about energy renaissance, the best thing ever happened to energy in America, and certainly it is, and what it means to America and what opportunity that it brings to America today. And they talked about the great resource base. Everybody thought at one time was running out, and now guess what? We double what we had. And guess what? We can double what we have again. We said we could have energy independence in 2011, and certainly now everybody believes us that we really can have energy independence. So it's a great thing that we're into. We've reduced imports to this country. Yes, we're still bringing in 7 million barrels a day, but we're shipping out about 4.5 million a day of oil and refined products. And they talked about that. That keeps our prices up on gasoline, and a little bit unfairly. And we'll get into that just a little bit as we go forward. So we're down netting a number that's actually below the amount of ownership of foreign governments into this country and refining. So you've heard a few things probably lately about oil patch kind of being in the tank a little bit. And maybe that wasn't explained to you very good, that we have a couple problems, just a couple of them. One is OPEC playing their predatory pricing again with the industry, just like they've done for 40 years. They come in, they cut the price down below where we can't make it, and then after it's all over, guess what? Prices are raised once they put us out of business. So they've seen what was happening with this great energy renaissance in America, the revolution brought about by horizontal drilling and the new technology that Larry talked about. So it was a threat to them and their production. And so the Saudis decided to use predatory pricing once again to wipe us out. And they're involved in that right now. But we made it easy for them here in America, because we got one more little problem that probably you may not have heard about. And that is that over the past 25 years, a renaissance has been going on with our refining in America. It's being purchased by those foreign entities, those foreign governments. Started out with Citgo from Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was sold to the Venezuelans. And they use those markets and to bring their heavy oil up here, heavy sour oil, transform a sweet refinery in Houston to market their Orinoco oil through that. And so they went from a sweet refinery to a sour refinery. Well, it worked pretty well for Venezuela. And so it was followed on by Pemex. They did the same thing. The Mexican government bought a refinery up here at Deer Park, converted Houston refinery complex, changed that, marketed their heavy mined sour crude. We call it junk. Brought it up here and started marketing that. Well, that business plan worked pretty well, so the Canadians got in the act. They wanted to sell their heavy oil, tar sands, bitumen here in America, so they've been systematically and very calculated buying American refineries up to the extent that today 2/3 of our sweet refineries have been converted over to heavy sour refineries. So when we start bringing the light sweet crude on from the Bakken, the Eagle Ford, and the new permit, as we call it, with horizontal drilling, we didn't have any place to go with it. We started having to try to get it into a market. Out of the 18 million barrels a day, only 6 million barrels of light sweet refining capacity remained in America. We can't export, so we couldn't get it out. So we've been having to discount our oil into that market all this period of time at about a 20% discount. So over the last 4 years, since 2011, that discount has amounted to $124 billion to American producers, royalty owners, states like Oklahoma and Texas and North Dakota. And so we get a situation that we kind of had our hands tied behind our back. We were vulnerable, made it easy for OPEC to take advantage of us. So that's kind of the current situation. It's cost us a whole lot of jobs in our industry. 60% of our rigs have been laid down today, and 125,000, 126,000 direct jobs, about double that. Some 250,000 indirect jobs. People put out of business. Everybody thought America would really thrive with cheap gas prices. Well, let me tell you that the refiners never passed that on to consumers. They're selling at world prices, like Larry said. They're selling at Brent prices. They're able to export their product, and they're doing so. And so the consumer never saw any benefit of it. Big write-up this morning in Washington, and everybody expected that our economy would be booming as a result of cheap gasoline. Well, it didn't happen. Now we're seeing all the folks out of work. And these are middle-class jobs. And guess what? That all could be corrected, by an executive order. Of course, that's not going to be, is it? So I just tell you that right now we've been working with this situation about 3 years, and we do have legislation that has been introduced both in the House, 2 bills out of the Senate. This is a bipartisan matter. It's an American matter. So we do have people on both sides of the aisle, both Republicans and Democrats, that's for this. And so we should see passage of this legislation. Leadership certainly in both houses, the Senate and the House, is for this. So we expect to see this move forward, and it would help greatly. Larry touched a little bit on, what that would mean to America, what it could mean to America. It could mean a great deal. It's been estimated that just lifting the ban on exports, we're the only country in the world that don't have exports of crude oil, that just lifting the ban would raise GDP 1 full percent. We only have 2. Raised by 1 full percent, add 400,000 jobs annually, $1.3 trillion in corporate and personal income taxes. So it would be great. Ken Hirsch recently stated, he's a friend of mine, Natural Gas Partners, and a talk in Austin he gave, said this was the single largest event that's happened since World War II, and would have implications of growth similar to the period after World War II with America and with energy. So it would be a wonderful thing to see this happen. You might ask, gosh, what's Harold come up here and talking to this group today about that? It's a very important thing. I think that all of you could take action and help. Go back, talk to your senators, your representatives. A whole lot of people are lined up for this. Even the refiners are for this, for the most part. Most of them are integrated. They have production, they have refining. All of the trade associations are for it. It seems like definitely is a no-brainer to do. And we have people on both sides of the aisle to do it. But it takes a long time to get something moved that's been there 40 years. This is the first time we've had a need to do it, as Larry said. We have oil to export, and we certainly need to do it with this mixed match with the refining. So all of you could have an impact. You could have a great impact for America. And as you go home, talk to your representatives and your senators, ask them to help America and help us right this situation. Thank you. It was good to talk to you today.